Hello everyone, it's Niven, and welcome to CopperCube 6 tutorial video. CopperCube 6 is a game engine which is available for free. Link is in the description, you can download it and follow along. There are other links in the description which are connected directly to this specific tutorial, and I will explain that later. There is also CopperCube 6 documentation file which you can download or read to further the knowledge on CopperCube 6 game engine. Today's version of the tutorial is an advanced one, which means that you need to know the basics on how to use CopperCube 6 game engine. You can either read the documentation, watch my basics video, or just try to figure out how everything works. Now, today's tutorial is about game making. We will be making a full game from start to finish, with the menu, with the main scenes and actions, and also with the ending. So let's get started. Before every tutorial, I remind everyone that we have 5 main windows. First of all, Scene Graph Explorer. There are all the items here. We have properties, the information about the items. We have prefabs, the items which we can use in CopperCube 6 game engine. Those are the default ones. You can use them. We also have textures right here, and we can add any texture we want. And this is the main screen right here, which I can move like this. So let's get started. First of all, we need to make a menu. So we need to delete the skybox, the cube, and let's set the background color. Now, right here, we have the properties for this scene. That's just the scene. There are no items here yet. Now we need ambient light, which is black. We need background color. And let's put background color to this one, because we'll be making a fun game. Now we need to rename the scene to the menu. And how do we do that? We go to scenes, we go to scene settings, and right here we type menu. And we click OK. And right here you have menu. Now, let's add some buttons. To add a clickable button, you need to go to Create and add 2D item. I have done a tutorial about clickable buttons, but we will go over this one more time. So, first one, we will need to rename Play, because this is a button which, when we click on it, will play the game. We have the visibility right here. We need this to be visible. We have the position mode. We have the percentage position, X, Y. So this is this and this. So for example, if I want position to be 30, it will move like this. If I want position to be 30 again, it will move like this. We have width and height. This is the scaling, which you can do from here, right here, scale. You can scale like this or like this, whichever you want. We also have draw background. Now the background is the background of this specific 2D overlay right here. See? No background, background. This is any color you want. I will be actually choosing a color which will be white right here. And we have the opacity, the alpha. This means how much the color shows on the screen, the percentage. So 0, there's nothing. 200, it's all white. I will make it 300, so it's like all white. And now we have 2 main versions. We have the image version or draw text. Now sometimes people use both, but I always use image. If we click text right here, and if you can see, I can write text. So play. Now, it's not visible because the color is white, but if we change it to, let's say, orange, it will show like this. Now, here is the font, and this is directly connected to your computer, which means that any font you have on your computer, it will apply. I'll just apply a random font and I will change the size. So if we click font, we have this right here, as you can see. So there are multiple fonts that I have downloaded. You can download them too. And we have multiple options here. So right now I choose this one. I can choose bold, oblique, regular, which one you want. I will choose bold. Now the sample will be shown right here. So whatever changes we make to the font style and size, it will show here, and it will directly correspond to the play button here. So I will make it maybe, let's make it big, 20, and the script Western, yes, that's the only one we have. And now we have our play button ready. So what we can do is add a camera. We go to create and camera, and we have to choose one of the cameras. I choose a simple camera because it creates a simple camera without any behavior right here. And now if we go to publish and click test, this is to test an application. This doesn't mean that you are publishing your game. Not yet. This is just a test. So if we click test, and here it is, our button, which looks ugly, okay? But we will change that. Now, what we need to do is we need to change the scaling. So let's make it 15 and 15. Or we can make it 40 and we can make it 40. And if we click play, it will show right here. Let's move a little bit like that, maybe 45. Now it's not perfectly centered, but it's close to the center. And we can change the width, which will be 20 and 30. So if we click play, yes. All right. Now we can move that. See? Actually, you know what? We can change this to 20. And, oh, sorry. Go to publish, test, and yeah, that's it. Now we have to move it slightly here, and we have our play button. Now, let's copy this play button, right? We click clone, and we have another play button. So we should rename this controls, right? Or we can make it settings. And now, if we move it down, actually we don't have to move it down, we have to change the Y percentage. So let's make it 60. Oh, did you see that? And now if we click play, now we have two play buttons. But first of all, we need to change this. So we go here, right here, and we name this settings. Now, before we go do anything here, I need to change the publishing settings. So we go to publish, we go right here to publishing settings. We have this unnamed application. Let's leave it like that. We have the loading text screen. Let's remove this. Go to Windows EXE because we want to publish it as Windows EXE. And here you can see the resolution. I already made an input, so you just have to follow along. So the input is 1280 to 600. DirectX 3D 60, color depth is 32, full screen of course, maximize buttons means full screen, yes, vertical synchronization, yes, anti-alias, yes, and here we click only collision. We don't want to touch physics simulations yet. So if we click OK, and now if we click on test, here it is, we have play and settings. Now we should press escape and voila. Now, let's move this play and settings a bit up because we also want an exit button, correct? Yes. So let's move play to maybe 10. Let's move settings maybe to 40. And once again, right here we click clone. We put exit right here. Then we go down right here. Change text, exit, okay. And what we have to do, oh, sorry, this should be centered. Yes. Hold on, exit. And now we move this down to maybe 70. That's it. Now we click test And here we have it. Great. Now, what we have to do to make our game great, do you know? You don't? Interesting, because I've talked about how to make games, and I've talked about what's the important part of the game. It's the music. Now, I have the links which I talked about in the description for the music to the game, and we will apply it here. First of all, let's go to menu. And we have to go to here, which is behavior, and click this plus button. Here it says, before first drawing, do something. Also on reload. Now, what this means that every time you click start play the scene, whatever action you put in here will be doing over and over and over again the same thing. Now, what do we have to do? Right here we have to click play a sound, make sound 2D, make sound looped, and we have to give a sound file direction. I'll have a sound downloaded, saved, and I'll put it here. As you can see, I put in my directory, it's users, user, desktop, music, menu, v1, which means version 1. And as you can see, the music file is WAV, not MP3. This is very important because CopperCube 6 primarily supports this format. I've tried other formats and it didn't work, so WAV is the best format. Now you can, of course, change and export your music file using additional software, which I won't be going over because frankly enough, that's not my job, because you have to learn that using Audacity or any other program, whichever you prefer. Now, you have the music file. Let's go volume. Let's put 20 because I don't want it to be too loud. Okay. And now what happens is the menu has a music if we play test. Did you hear it? Yeah. Not that bad. Now, this one will be looping. So when it will end, it will loop. It won't stop. Now let's press escape. Now we have menu music. What other things do we need? Of course, we need to create clickable buttons. Yes, of course. But we also need music for the buttons. Now, every time you click on this, music or sound effect plays. Every time you click on this, music or sound effect plays. Every time you click on this, same thing happens. What do? We go to play. Right here, we go to, when you clicked on this, do something. Bounding box test. Always check this one out. Action will be, first of all, to play a sound. Let's make this 80. We'll put the sound directory. Now, the second one we'll be needing is actually to go scripted action, and what I do is fade the whole screen. Now, fade the whole screen is an action which is used to have transition. So that's how I do transitions mostly. So time to fade will be maybe 1000, fade out, and after it fades out, we go here, right here, cameras and scene, and switch to another scene. Now, we don't have a new scene, we don't have a music yet, so let's bring it alive. Let's go create. Actually, let's go to scenes, and let's add a scene. Now, when we click this, it adds a new scene. What do we need a new scene for? We need a new scene to play the game. So the new scene will be game level 1. We click OK. And that's it. Now we leave this alone for this time, for a while. We go to menu back, and right here, just follow along, we click game level 1, this scene, okay? We also have to put in the play directory right here. And right here we have the new directory, which is click button V1. I do V1 because it's version 1. That's how I label things. It's very important to label things because actually you need a very precise collective input in the game, because every time you make a game, it shouldn't be a mess. It shouldn't be a chaos, but it should be an order, and that's very important to me. So that's what I'm trying to teach you, to have everything in order, and it will be much easier. And if we go to publish, and now if I click play, and it goes to the scene. Now, you notice that the menu music doesn't stop. I don't want the menu music to stop because I want my game to have the menu music, because I'm a bit lazy. But what you can do is you can go right here, and you can actually, right here, game and sound, stop all sounds. Click this. And once you go to the other scene, the game menu music stops. See? That's what you can do. Now, I'm not doing that because we're making a simple game. So let's delete this. This is how you delete it. Okay. Now, what we need to do with this, we need to actually copy the behaviors of the scene node right here. And we will apply this to exit. Now, you can see that the play button and the exit button have the same buttons, right? The same properties. But what we have to do is we have to change things right here. So instead of switching to another scene, it will go special and quit application. So this is how it works. And it quit the application. Isn't that great, guys? Yes, of course it is. Now, this is very simple. You can go over this once again slowly. And now we need the settings. Now, what we need the settings for, so the player can know what buttons to press to play the game. Before making a settings, we have to make a game first. Correct? Correct. Now, let's go to scenes and go to the game level. And now we create a game level. Yay! I was too excited. Now, let's delete everything. Game level. And here we can have the same input color. To have the same input color, what we have to do is go to menu, right here, click on this, Control A, Control C, go here, and simply convert it. That's very easy. Now, we need to create a ground level. This is a very simple ground level, so we go to create. We need to add plane. I messed that up, sorry. Tile count 4, width, let's make it 1000. Length, let's make it 1000. And repeat texture count, maybe 10 times, maybe. So that's it. We have our ground. Now, let's make a texture for this ground, correct? As you can see, this is static. Now, what we have to do is create a dynamic one. Now, as you can see, everything is black. Oh no, what to do? You can make two types of lights at this point. Point light right here, which is not very bright, or you can make a directional. I have to make a directional light for this because I want my game to look a bit cuter. So let's make a directional light. And as you can see, the directional light actually has shadows right here. So let's have this light not white, but let's create a more sunny color like this, look. Yeah, this is better. Now let's go to here. Let's rename this plane mesh to ground. And we have all the properties, collision, everything. Now let's change materials to a texture, which I have downloaded. And this is any texture you want. I have just simple texture, so I have to go to add a directory. Now I added my background color, which is green, and right here it is green. As you can see. Now we need to add our player. Oh, sorry, I moved this accidentally. Now we need to add our player. By the way, if you do anything by accident, for example, if you do something like this, you can always Control Z, and that will be it. Now, for the player, we will be needing a mesh. So instead of having a mesh, I'll add a default cube. Okay? And let's make this cube dynamic. And actually, advanced settings right here, do this. Actually, you should do the same thing for the background. I usually do that, you don't have to. Yes, now we add this cube a name character. And we add a couple of behaviors. Behavior number 1 will be collision. So when collided, it has this thing which makes it move on the ground. Right here. Here. We can make the cube actually bigger. Hold on. Let's make the cube 444 right here. Now we can see the collision, but if we go like very deep like this, you can actually see the collision. Let's go back to behaviors and let's make this collision -3. Oh, actually, let's make it 3 or actually make it 12. Oh, now as you can see, it shouldn't be touching, it shouldn't be like this. You see, the touching of the ground, like here, you see, it's beyond. Like, you should make it maybe 10. Or maybe actually make it 8. Hold on. And yeah, 8 should be fine. So this is the one thing that you need to work on yourself. And yeah, that's it. Now what we do is we add a camera to our character, right? We add camera and we add third-person camera instead of first-person because we're creating a third-person game. Creates a third-person view style control camera which follows a user control object. Okay, now specify which character it follows, character, and now we have it. Let's move this closer to the cube, very close actually. You need to adjust this and here, and as you can see, we have a cube. It doesn't move. It doesn't do anything. Of course it doesn't. Let's go to materials. Once again, add a directory. Now I add a directory, the red color on my cube. And let's add a behavior called object or person controlled by keyboard. Right here we have movement speed. I'll be changing that to 0.5. Rotation speed, I'll be changing that to 100. Jump speed, actually, I can change that to 0.5 again. And run speed, let's put it 0.8. So if we click on publish. Oh, what's going on? The cube is actually moving, but it's not moving the way we want the cube to move, right? Yes. So what we have to do is actually change the camera settings right here. Follow smooth. I add and target height. Let's set this to 5, 4, 3, hold on, 10. Okay, so the camera is, oh, look at that. It was way off. It's still off a little bit, as you can see. Oh, it changed. It changed smoothly. Now what we have to do is collect coins. Once again, we go create. We make this cylinder right here. And let's actually modify the cylinder. Go to attributes. Let's add scaling to 0.5. And let's have this, let's make it all 0.5, 0.5. So 0.5, actually 2 and 0.5 here, right? Let's put it down like that. Let's test it, and you can see, well, this is too small. Let's make it 1, 0.4, and 1. Can we see it now? Yes, we can. Now we can change the rotation of this coin. Let's call it coin right here. Let's call it coin. We can change rotation through here or through here, right here. So I will change it to maybe 90 minus 90. All right. And we also change the texture. Go to add directory, and here we have a coin. Dynamic. All right. Now we have a coin. But, oh, what happens? Nothing happens, actually. You remember I made a tutorial about collecting items? So that's what we have to do. We have to add a behavior. Now, behavior will be on proximity, do something. So the sphere should be at least 40, I guess. Or let's do it 30. That's it. The current active camera. I always choose a scene node because sometimes the program doesn't read active camera. I made a proximity. Now you can make an easy mistake like this, so please listen. This is not a perfect tutorial. This is the learning curve. So listen up, really. What I did is I made the proximity on the camera. Do you see where the camera is? Right here. Do you see the proximity? Do you think this will enter this one? No. So I made a mistake, but I can easily fix it. Instead of near camera, we add box, the character. We can lower the distance by 30 as I had it, and this is what happens. Oh, I deleted the scene node. Hold on. The current scene node, the coin. Hold on. Oh, the coin is gone. So we are fixed. Our issue is fixed. Sorry about that. We have to add a code, not a code, but we have to add a mechanism of collect 5 of these and you win the game. How do we do that? It's simple. Go to game level right here and add before first draw do something, as I told you, and it should say right here, set or change a variable. Let's put it coin equals 0. So the coin equals 0. But once I go towards here, set or change a variable, coin should equal 1. But instead of it equal 1, it will actually add 1. So every time I go through here, it adds 1 coin. Now we go back to the game level. Right here, we have to add something like this. Look. Every few seconds do something. Let's make it 11. An action. If a variable has a value, do something. So if there are 5 coins, this changes to a scene. And now we'll have the winning scene. Go to scenes, add, right here, win. Okay. Now we delete this. And we make the color of this like that. Maybe that's too bright. Maybe make it orange. And we go create, add. You know how to do this. You win. Sorry, you win. And no image, draw text, draw background. Background will be red because I like red on orange. That's nice. And add the text. You win. Congratulations. Congratulations. And let's add the color of this yellow. I changed the font, and now let's with 40 and 20. Let's move it here. Actually, move it here. 30. Okay, now let's add camera. The simple camera. And we go to publish. You win, congratulations. Let's move this bit this way. So it will be 40. Oh, 35. 33. 32. Now this is just an adjustment which you can make to. Let's make it 31. And let's make it 38. Oh, sorry, opposite, 44. And let's move it this way a little bit. Well, that's all right. Now, let's go back to the game level. And right here, we go switch to another scene. Sorry, win. Now we need to collect 5 coins. How do we do that? Simply clone, randomly put it, clone, randomly put it, once again clone, and once again clone. So we have 5 of those. Collected 1, collected 2. Now if we press Shift, it starts sprinting, see? Collect 3, collect 4. You win! Now let's make the game a bit more colorful. Let's add, now first of all, sorry, I have to delete this. You know why? Because I need to play a sound once this is collected. So play a sound. Right here, we add our sound directory. As you can see, we added the sound collect. Now let's test if this works. Yes. Now we clone this once again. Right here. And yeah, that's it. Now you can make any modifications to this as you wish. This is very simple. And let's start the game. First of all, let's make the movement. So this is how it moves. And run speed, let's make 1. So every time it presses shift, it runs. Like that. Like that. You win! Congratulations! Now let's add a fog. Now this is something that you can work on and, you know, just make a fun little game. I will add this. Oh, actually, you know what? I will add whatever color is this. So right here, let's make it a bit dark. Right here, and let's change this to 0.1, maybe 0.4, and now we also have a fog. Well, it's very different, but yeah. And now let's go back to menu and start the game. Play. Collect. You win! Congratulations! And when we press escape, it quits the game. Now, let's go to WinSyn. WinSyn, wow. And we can add something like this. Before first draw, do something. Actually, when the key is pressed, do something. So right here, we press escape. And what it does, right here we go, special quits application. So when you press escape, it quits application. Now let's go back to the menu and add settings. Now there are multiple ways to add settings. The one way I found very easy to do is actually, as you can see, clone this, put it right here. Now add settings. Now rename it controls. And right here, we add a text. So WASD movement. Shift key sprint, and escape key quit game. Now we need to actually change the size of it. We can scale this up right here. So it will be 40, actually 30, no, 40 or maybe 50, 45, and 10. And I can move this anywhere I want. Let's make it precise. 50. Actually, let's move it down here. Like here. So what key is that? It's 90 and 1. Actually make it 92. See? Now, let's make this invisible. Now what we do is, right here in settings, we add something like this. When cursor moved over, do something. Bound box test, action on enter, hide or unhide a scene node. Make visible this text, controls. Okay. And once the cursor leaves, hide or unhide a scene node, make invisible this. Now, this is what happens. Oh! See? Yes. That is it for today's tutorial. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned a lot. Everything will be down in the description. The links for the sound effects, the links for my previous CopperCube 6 tutorials, the ones that you should go over before watching this. I will also have segments in the videos to know how to make menu, how to make a game, and how to make an end credits scene. And that way it will be much easier for you. If you have any questions, please write in the comments. And overall, I hope you really liked this one because it showcased how simply you can make a game. And if you change some settings on default, because I made this using just CopperCube 6 engine, right? If you add some characters, if you add some environments, you can apply those 3-step settings. You can have a menu, the main game, and ending, and you can easily make any game you want, collecting or otherwise. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.